I can't say anything, even if I were. Like, I'm scared that my mom is just gonna be just there.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Potemer, the O.J. Simpson of the Roblox community, has recently made a response to the situation, posting what he claims to be documents from the police proving his innocence, causing all his young impressionable viewers, who he himself called brain-rotted babies, to naively believe that he is innocent, allowing him to effectively get away with the situation. Potemer is not innocent, and he will never be innocent. This document is a soulless husk of a defense for someone who has admitted numerous times to the statutory of a especially when considering the fact that the victim herself admitted to the veracity of the situation and was then forced offline by her own mother, who she was terrified of.
I'm just gonna let you know, I can't really say anything. Doesn't mom? Like, I'm scared that my mom is just gonna be just there.
Potemer openly posted numerous instances of images to significantly younger than himself. He openly posted media to Ufa Guide, who was a and is openly friends with a known called Bonky Doge, who was caught following accounts that posted absolutely horrific material, and he's still desperately attempting to get away with the situation to this day, with his mother attempting to do anything in her power to exonerate the actions of her son, even if that means me or the victim's mother suppressing her own child to prevent her from coming out about the truth and reporting anyone who comes out about this or. This video will systematically cover the truth about the situation and cover how easily manipulated this community is into believing to the point where even PM Damien had to come out and highlighted how no one should be gaslit by his response and that he would never contact Potemer again. No one who takes of a 3-year-old at the age of 16 while also having mentally them should be given a second chance or be forgiven, and the idea that Potemer was ever innocent in this is a complete fallacy. Now, for context, Potemer was seen issuing 3 screenshots in his YouTube community post, addressing how he, among other individuals, were openly investigated by the police, stating how his incident was deemed as unfounded, to which he stated as proof of it all being false. This is incredibly easy to immediately dismantle, because in his original response to the situation on his YouTube community post in January, which was monitored and created with his parents, he was seen admitting to the veracity of the incident, stating it did happen 3 years ago in an extremely vague way. Potemer was also seen having admitted to Trav in his private DMs that the situation did transpire, and this was in July 2024. He also even stated how it was fully consensual. This was then followed with him further admitting to the veracity of the allegations to Trav in a group chat with the victim Yellow, following up by stating how he was emotionally to her, according to his own words. This was then further corroborated by his admissions to Goldfishies on the 12th of January, where he feigned ignorance about not knowing what he did with the girl was illegal, and stating he knows how bad the age gap dynamic was now, after being directly told the severity and the ramifications of the situation, once again asking if what he did was wrong. Potemer was also seen messaging his own fans in his Discord server, stating the situation did transpire, but that it was handled in the past, once again not denying whatsoever. Potemer was also seen being confronted by a user named Basil, where he was directly confronted with more past admissions he made to another user, where he is seen admitting the allegations, but yet belittling the age gap and asking what the problem with his actions were. In his messages with Basil, he then had the audacity to lie, and this time victim blamed them, accusing her of despite previously claiming that it was purely consensual. Potemer, 3-year-olds cannot consent. Potemer was also seen admitting directly to Puss himself on a video that the situation did transpire, claiming it just to be something 2 dumb teens do with one another.
What's the full context of everything, like, from your side? What is it?
Just 2 dumb teenagers, man.
2 close associates to Potemer who went to his school also attested that Potemer would brag of what he did to this girl to them, and when this was brought up to the victim herself, she broke down regarding this situation, and highlighted how her own mother was preventing her from coming out about this all. This victim was afraid of the repercussions from her own mother, who was covering up a case regarding alleged statutory and the victim's voice was literally trembling as she was saying this.
Look, just in case my mom ever comes by, I'm just gonna let you know, I can't really, like, say anything. It doesn't mom. Like, I can't say anything, like, even if I were, like, I'm scared that my mom is just gonna be just there, cause she's Discord, and she's fine.
So you are afraid of your own mother.
And that's just kind of the main reason of why this is sort of like just covered, and I can't say anything anymore. So
Listen, I'm not asking here for like a full-on admission. I don't want a full detailed thing here. I'm gonna ask you a straight-up open question. I'm gonna need the honest truth here, because otherwise this will implicate you and your mother, like, from a legal perspective. Did Potemer do to you the things that he's accused of? Did Potemer actually end up...
he didn't me. He didn't me. I'm still...
Okay, so
He's going around to his IRL friends saying, quote unquote, I'm gonna just paraphrase this from him, he got teeth.
Oh no.
So someone here is clearly lying.
Is the statement that he's saying true? That's what we have to say. It's just a yes or no. You don't have to go into any detail.
Okay, because if my mom finds out I said anything, I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, I definitely will stay. I don't want to see anything.
So he did end up getting teeth from you?
Yeah.
This case is one of the most disgusting, repulsive cases in Roblox history, and when the victim admitted that Potemer engaged with her, her own mother found out and shut down her accounts and took her offline. This was after the victim stated herself that Potemer took 10 minutes to consider engaging with her and went through with it nonetheless.
If you were the one who wanted it, you had to ask him, and then he said, yeah, let's do it.
He told me that he didn't want to just jump into that, and he didn't want to do that too soon. And then he was like, I'll think about it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
So what led to that? What did he think about?
He's like, hey, you know that idea you came up with? I'm like, sure.
Potemer had then started to go on damage control in private, claiming that she was manipulated into this confession and he knew what he was saying was a complete lie. Yet he had a Freudian slip and stated that she admitted to the truth nonetheless. Roll a clip.
Parlo essentially pretty much manipulated her into saying the truth.
With all these admissions, 8 from Potemer and 2 from the victim herself, and even testimonies from people close to Potemer from his own school, the illusion that the police ever had anyone's best interest in this situation was completely false. And the idea that Potemer was ever innocent was a complete f***ing fallacy. One look at the report provided, and one can easily see the important aspects of the document are redacted and censored, making it hard to decipher anything. Furthermore was that in regards to what was provided to the police, on the property section, it only highlights that there were screenshots, but with 1 being the quantity, meaning either 1 screenshot was provided and submitted as evidence, or a single file was given containing such material. However, whatever screenshots they magically had should not have detracted validity away from the audio admissions, Discord admissions backed up by mobile recordings, or witness testimony of students who knew Potemer who can attest to what he did. And this is a major lapse of judgment from law enforcement. It is evident that false information was provided to the police, and this was directly encouraged by Potemer. The victim Yellow had shown evidence of Potemer directly encouraging her in private DMs to tell the police that I was asking her dirty questions. He deliberately and maliciously misinterpreted our interview with the girl to help understand the truth behind the situation into something. He was gaslighting this girl into thinking that I was inherently malicious. This also adds on to when Potemer claimed that the girl was coaxed and pushed into this admission. There is no doubt that these lies were created to devalue her admission and were then pushed to the police, who somehow believed this and concluded that the situation was unfounded and had no grounds. The entire investigation is further hindered by both the mother's complicity to deny the situation ever happening, which would only complicate the matters even further. Whether that is Potemer's mother having used autism to belittle Potemer's past admissions to brush it off as fake.
When he gets cornered, he does not know what to say. He does not know how to react. He has a very slow processing speed when it comes to speech, writing, and reading.
All while that is Potemer's mother as well, attempting to control her own son and prevent him from making a response admitting to the veracity of the claims, to which Potemer even admitted was happening.
I would like to respond, but I am being limited by my parents.
Well, what's happening behind scenes that's so, like, private, you know? I feel like that's why everyone's gonna be bad.
My parents aren't letting me. My parents, they don't want me to say anything about it.
or whether that is the victim's own mother scaring and suppressing her into silence and preventing any charges from actually being pressed onto Potemer himself. The investigation was not fair, and it was not based in any grounds of truth when considering that both the parents have actively made it known that they will do anything in their disposal to hide what truly happened by silencing their own children. Unfortunately, justice sometimes never takes form, especially with a cover-up as disgustingly egregious as this, and there is a major correlation between this and the case of O.J. Simpson, not in terms of the crime, but in terms of the outcome, where he had gotten away with his despicable actions, despite everyone knowing exactly what he did. The evidence was stacked up against him, and yet they used a loophole to exonerate him. The police have made it more than known that they are incapable to deal with a situation on this severity numerous times before, and with many examples of online being reported, most get away with the police not interfering or giving them a slap on the wrist or even siding with them in certain cases. Unless you're Schlepp working alongside poachers and Gideon, most times the evidence is not admissible. Poachers often have to walk a long tightrope of evidence collecting without allowing the to wiggle out by any technicalities, and unfortunately Discord admissions, while real, are oftentimes not admissible or are of interest by the police. And that is how Chris Hansen often incarcerated himself, because he directly worked alongside police and ensured that he did not entrap the and followed a pattern of allowing the to incriminate himself and then printed out the chat logs to then provide to police themselves. In the case of Potemer, he admitted to it all. However, him also being a complicates the situation, and furthermore the lack of action of both the parents and refusal of the victim's mother to press any charges against Potemer is another critical point to address. If both the mothers claim it didn't happen, and all we have are admissions from Potemer on Discord, Potemer's mother can just lie to the police with the same excuse she used before and claim that his autism caused him to brag about doing something he simply didn't do. Infamous Roblox Nephorix had the UK police confiscate her hard drives during the peak of her allegations years ago, and police destroyed their hard drive after they found cached illicit images on her computer. The UK police then proceeded to give Nephorix a report claiming that there was insufficient evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction, which Nephorix then used as a legitimate defense for her innocence consistently, despite the fact that she is on record having admitted to disseminating directly to in private DMs. Nephorix, under her Natigska alias, even had claimed that the police had forced the victim to apologize to her. Whatever happened clearly was not just and was completely bullshit, especially when considering the long history of her actions, which somehow the police just ignored.
And Nat likes to link this screenshot of the criminal justice report where it shows the two offenses of possessing indecent photograph slash pseudo photograph of a and cause slash incite these age 13 to 17. What I don't get is that he was definitely guilty of possessing indecent photographs of which was a 16-year-old when he was 18, so it's not like morally I don't really care that much. But the police did destroy the hard drive. They wouldn't destroy the hard drive if you weren't guilty of having images of a on your hard drive. So without that going to trial, yeah, you were guilty of that. That's not even arguable. And the only reason you didn't get convicted over this was because there was insufficient evidence. It's not because you're innocent. Stop trying to categorize it as I was found innocent because authorities couldn't find enough on me. No, that's not how it works.
The police are underfunded, ill-equipped, and inherently biased, and are not well educated when it comes to online situations, and especially the fact that they failed to subpoena Discord logs of the anecdotal admissions made by Potemer. If Potemer himself and the victim admit the situation, then clearly something did transpire. Even more critical to address was the fact that Potemer's mother went from denying the veracity of the situation entirely.
Your son's claiming that he hit that to about
so in the middle school.
So what?
So what do you mean, so what?
So what? So what? He lied about something. So now you're gonna ruin his channel. You're gonna cyberbully him.
She then being seen deflecting the situation, my name, and bringing up how, well, no crimes were actually committed. If Potemer didn't engage with this year-old, then you wouldn't need to focus on addressing how no crimes were committed, rather just focus on denying the claims straight up, as any other normal innocent person would do. Now, when looking into another screenshot provided by Potemer, you were able to see a list of the individuals who were apparently investigated, with one such example being Puss. What is extremely interesting to take into account, however, was that Puss states himself that he was never once questioned by police in this clip here.
Just a couple minutes ago, I'm not sure if you're fully aware what happened, Potemer released a community post claiming that he's innocent, and he provided a bunch of legal documents. I'm not really sure if they're fully, like, real. He released, like, 3 pages claiming that he's innocent and that there are a bunch of legal quotes, and on one of the papers, the second page specifically, he provided a list of people that were investigated, and the second person on that list is your name. And he actually said, I'm not the reason for his arrest, nor did I report him, that was someone else, which isn't really true. But were you ever investigated by anyone? Because this says that you were like a person of interest and that they spoke to you about something. I mean, have they ever reached out to you?
No, I've been living my day-to-day life like nothing ever happened, I'm gonna be honest. They dropped my case and we're just confused. I was pulled over the other day, like just like as a pullover like ticket, like, hey, you messed the stop sign. It was like, why were you arrested? I was like, I don't even know. Like, what for? And then he pulled it up, he was like, wow, that's... But they, like, dropped it.
So that only allows one to ask what the kind of investigation took place here. The document also contains 2 other individuals who are simply coined as people who were harassed, yet no one ever was. So who the heck were these people? What integral purpose do they serve in this situation? Well, we will never know, because they are literally redacted. The police in this investigation never consulted us about the information we collected. They didn't consult Guamgo, they didn't consult Puss, they didn't consult Trav, they didn't consult anyone. And clearly by viewing the report, they only provided either a single screenshot or a single document with screenshots to the police that most likely played into Potemer's favor regardless. What did the police investigate? Did they only speak to the 2 mothers who would lie about the situation regardless to protect themselves? What evidence did the police even have at their disposal? And furthermore, even if Potemer was innocent, to which even his once close associates like PM Damien know is complete bull, this report doesn't exonerate Potemer's long history of posting material to considerably younger than himself, which no one ever seems to bring up because it has always been overshadowed by the main allegation. But it is still absolutely disgusting nonetheless, because he was directly told and warned to stop, and yet he still continued. Potemer also continued this repetitive pattern of degenerative behavior by posting content to Goldfish's DMs, and was even seen being friends with Bonky Doge, despite Bonky Doge being caught for following Twitter accounts that post content and even content, which is absolutely vile, and he is an adult while following these accounts and consuming the content. I'm genuinely disgusted with people coming out the woodworks, stating that they're happy that they stuck along, and knew that one day he would prove his innocence. No, you didn't. You knew what he did, you knew the crime he committed was indefensible, and you stuck by it because you didn't care. This little document shown now is your Hail Mary to justify your sick parasocial need to want to continue to watch his content. The people who remain convinced of this document that proves little of anything are children who wanted to believe that he was innocent by any means necessary. These aren't the level-headed people who assess all the facts, because anyone will come to the idea that the police sometimes don't get information correct, especially with how biased all of this is and how the mothers are covering up the situation. And sometimes the police do side with the and in this case they were being directly lied to, even in the best case scenario. What happened is undeniable, and Potemer still has a long history of other disgusting actions he did that he has actively chosen not to address. He admitted 8 times to the situation and knew the consequences of admitting, yet he chose to regardless. Potemer admitted that the incident happened in his initial community post, but is now seen claiming that it is false. He contradicted himself, and he has been proven to lie to benefit himself at any cost. He claimed he consensually with the 2-year-old when he was 16, and was then seen stating to Basil that she him, with now him playing the victim. He will do anything to lie to try and prove his non-existent innocence, and I hope the final point is made that Potemer is not innocent and he will never be innocent. But anyway, for clarification as this video ends, this video is not intended for hate, harassment, or cyberbullying whatsoever. This video is instead intended for educational and informative purposes only, going over the entire situation as a whole in a documentary style context. I'd also like to clarify that this video is intended for more mature audiences as well, as more mature themes are actively being discussed, so viewer discretion is of course advised. All necessary content has been sufficiently blurred, and this video complies with all of YouTube's YouTube's community guidelines. And with that all being said, thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and comment your opinions down below about this situation, and join my Discord server to contact me if you wish or to get any updates. My Discord server is discord.gg/Parlo. And with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye.
I